Hey, yo, what up? It's your boy, Isekai. It's a genre now, as much as people don't like to call it a genre, it's pretty much a genre in the world of anime now that is all too familiar. We've had countless amounts of Isekai coming out, especially in the past 5 years or so. If you're familiar enough with my content and my opinions, then you'd know that I am not exactly the biggest fan of Isekai. But I was snooping around on Twitter today, and I came across a kind of interesting, I guess, think piece opinion that I saw from this particular account right here, and it says, Isekai genre has killed originality, claims veteran author. Now, I don't know what level of legitimacy there is to this particular statement, considering that A, there is no source that was linked, so we don't know who exactly this veteran author is. Who knows? It might be a hunk of crap. There might not actually be a veteran author who actually said these words, but I wanted to talk about it in a video just because I did think that this was an interesting point of contention. The idea that Isekai has killed originality in the world of manga, anime, light novels. Because I think with the overabundance of isekai shows recently, this opinion has come quite popular over the years. The seasoned anime watcher will look at the huge list of new isekai shows that come out every single season and go, man, what happened? Where did all the original shows go? You know, admittedly, I have said the same thing on numerous occasions. But after I kind of thought about it, I almost want to disagree with this particular statement for a number of reasons. And again, this is coming from someone who does not like isekai. So why do I disagree with it? Well, for a number of reasons. I think that, yes, there are a ton of isekai shows, light novels, manga, anime adaptations that do lack originality, however you might want to define it yourself, because let's be real, originality is very much a nebulous concept of just what do you view as being something original and what do you view as something that has been clearly ripped off of something, because in a lot of instances, especially in the vast world of manga, anime, and light novels, originality is getting really, really hard to come by, just because, again, there is so much work out there that authors and writers can copy off of. And I think the base of where this particular statement stemmed from is, again, due to the fact that there have especially recently been a lot of isekai shows that are quote-unquote lacking in originality. It's most likely because a lot of these light novel authors, a lot of these web novel authors, manga authors are taking ideas for their isekai world, for their isekai show, from other isekai shows. And this is not a new concept. I mean, shonen artists have been doing this for the longest time, but it's interesting that although shonen artists and other genre artists are also taking from other shows that are in the same genre, you don't really hear about, oh, shonen is killing originality. Why is it that isekai is the one that is at the point of fire? Well, that's most likely because, again, there is just so much of it out in the forefront now, and I think that is purely the reason why this statement has come out. Because if the isekai genre never existed, or it never got as popular as it did today, I don't think this claim would be out in the open. If we cast our minds back to the late 90s or the early 2000s, where isekai was still just a very, very niche setting. It wasn't even a genre. It was most likely just like a plot device, a setting, if you will. In a world where at the forefront of the international anime world, there was most likely a ton of shonen shows that were consumed at the highest rate. And yet it's interesting that we never got a large group of people coming out in the open being like, oh, shonen anime has killed creativity. Every shonen is exactly the same now. Because for the most part, I don't think it's the fault of the genre itself that is killing originality. I think the root of the problem in the case of isekai is the consumers and the marketers. First and foremost, the consumers, the people who read the light novels, people who read the web novels, people who watch the anime adaptations and manga. There are just a lot of people, and this is nothing against these readers, there is just a lot of people naturally that like to gravitate towards something that they are already enjoying, that they are already familiar with. Those that go out and explore multiple different genres, explore genres that they have never discovered before, never read or consumed before, are, in lack of the better words, probably the minority. Because it's natural instinct that once you find something that you enjoy, it is very difficult for a lot of people, and a lot of people just can't be bothered to go out and explore different genres. In the case with Isekai, a lot of these new anime watchers who most likely came into the anime world at the forefront of the top peak of Isekai about 5 to 10 years ago were most likely just consuming Isekai right from the very beginning. And so once you fall in love with a particular Isekai, let's say something like Sword Art Online, then you're going to want to find something that is similar in quality and story and feel to that show that you enjoyed. So what do? You go on and continue to find more Isekai shows. Not to say that there aren't new anime watchers who are of the explorative nature. Of course not. I mean, I'm sure there's a ton of you guys watching this video right now who maybe started off watching shows like Sword Art Online, but decided, hey, as much as I like the Isekai genre, I want to go and try out, say, some psychological horror or some Yuri anime or maybe some shoujo anime. But for the most part, a lot of, especially younger viewers, don't really have that explorative nature. They just can't be bothered to go out to try and find something new that they perhaps are not going to enjoy and feel like they're wasting their time, when during that time they could have gone to just watch another Isekai show. So then we come to the second root of the problem, which is the marketers, the industry itself, if you will. I don't think I have to tell you this, but the manga, anime, light novel, web novel world is a business, and a business needs to make money to stay afloat. And a good business will look at their consumer base, look at what is particularly popular at the time, what has been consumed and bought the most, and try to capitalize on that as much as they can in a short amount of time. And Japan especially is a massive victim to finding a particular trend and milking the shit out of it. They've been doing this for decades now. Think of any small, tiny, minuscule trend that came out of Japan over the past 10, 20 years and think, okay, well, what did we get out of it? I mean, like, you remember PPAP? You remember that shit? Yeah, did you know that in Japan, this thing got so popular and they saw that it got so popular that they went out and made a whole ton of like merch for this thing. They even made a fucking pop-up cafe for PPAP. A pop-up cafe for a fucking 30-second song. I know because I went to it when it opened. A spoiler alert, it was shit. So Japan is really good at the whole milking out process because in a lot of ways, a lot of Japanese businesses are very short-term based. They only look at the short term of what is popular and they try to consume it and they try to produce it and market as much of it as possible before it eventually dies down until the next trend appears. As of right now, in the light novel world especially, that big trend that they are milking out is the Isekai genre. Even if you go onto web novel websites, the Isekai genre seems to be the most popular. It is the genre that people are seeking out the most in Japan and internationally as well. So naturally, as a business, you are going to want to capitalize on that as much as possible. And what do you do to capitalize on it? You produce as much of it as you possibly can. For those of you who are not too familiar with the light novel world, because I know that that is a minority compared to the anime and manga world especially, not every light novel that comes out in 2023 is of the Isekai genre. Yes, it is a large proportion of it, but there are also brand new Isekai shows that have absolutely nothing to do with the Isekai world. But there is a reason why you don't hear about those light novels as you do the Isekai light novels, is because the promoters, the business side of things that pushes that product to the consumers, aka you guys, are more interested in pushing out the Isekai genre because that is what they see works the most. And so new authors who want to step foot into the light novel world, who want to be published by the big light novel publishers in Japan, look at what is currently on the market, look at what is selling the most amount of books and goes, it seems like the most popular genre right now is Isekai. I want to be a successful author. I want to make lots of money off of my work. I want perhaps maybe my light novel to get a manga or even an anime adaptation in the next couple of years. Well, I better get started on what I can guarantee to probably make me the most amount of money and popularity, and that is the Isekai genre. It is this continuous Ouroboros of consumers consuming something and the promoters making that thing that the consumers are going to buy, and it just keeps going around in this never-ending cycle. So in a lot of ways, the Isekai genre itself is not the thing that is killing originality. It is the consumers of the Isekai genre that are killing originality. Because I think in the broader scope of manga, light novels, and anime, people do not want to seek out anything original. People are afraid to be original because originality is not what pays the bills, unfortunately. Sure, you cast your mind back to the early moments of light novels, say go back to the 80s when like light novels were really becoming a thing, then yes, obviously being as original as possible, being as eye-catching and new and refreshing as possible was the thing that was going to make you the big bucks. Look at Boogie Pop Phantom or even Suzumiya Haruhi. When those came out, or even Slayers, those light novels, when they came out, were going big time because there was nothing like it at the time. It literally started the new trend. But today, we have the big isekai shows. Mushoku Tensei, Log Horizon, Sword Art Online, among many others. And a lot of these light novel authors are looking at the big timers and going, that did really well for them. So if I do something similar, it'll probably do well for me as well. And in turn, the consumers will look at this brand new light novel that is inspired from the more familiar, more popular, more, I guess, quote unquote, legendary light novels from the isekai genre and go, oh, well, I really enjoyed the older ones, and this is kind of similar in style, similar in storytelling, similar in character dynamics, similar in plot progression. I'm probably going to enjoy it as well. And look, let me clear this because people are going to be commenting on it. I'm not saying that I hate all isekai. I don't hate all isekai. Not in the slightest. Again, series like Log Horizon, Mushoku Tensei, and even the first season of Shield Hero, and even the first couple of volumes of No Game No Life, I thoroughly enjoyed, even fully knowing that yes, these are isekai shows. Hell, I have a fucking Konosuba thing back there. I love Konosuba. I thought that shit was absolutely hilarious. That is in the isekai world. What I mean by me not enjoying isekai is that I don't enjoy current isekai. 99% of it, in my opinion, are just carbon copies of past isekai series that I would much rather read than the new stuff, if I'm being honest. But again, I fully understand that in the broader scope of anime, manga, light novel readers, I am pretty much in the minority. I have consumed a lot of light novels, especially manga, anime, in the past, where I'm kind of done with the concept of familiarity. I'm done with the concept of reading something that I know I will enjoy because it is a lot like something else. I would much rather, at this point in my life and in this point in my anime watching, manga reading, light novel reading career, to read something that is completely fresh. Perhaps something that is inspired from a completely different medium. Give me a light novel that is inspired off of a Western comic, or maybe some like Western folklore, or you know, maybe something completely outside of the scope of literature in general. A lot easier said than done. And at the end of the day, if new and upcoming light novel authors especially do not want to run that risk of potentially making something and putting effort into something that is completely original, I don't blame them, because at the end of the day, these light novel authors are trying to run a business. They're trying to make money, and nobody can fault them on that. It's not their fault. It is the fault of the consumers and the marketers. So yeah, that was just like, I guess, a little think piece, if you will, on this particular statement. Again, I don't know the legitimacy of this particular statement because A, there are no sources, and B, no veteran author is named in any way, so who knows, this might just be a complete load of bogus again. But I thought, again, it'd just be a little interesting discussion that I would share with you guys. But yeah, that's my 2 cents on it. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below, and hey, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to smack my face right there to subscribe to the channel. Let's keep making big channel number go bigger. And over here next to my head is a couple more videos you can check out if you enjoyed this one, and the links to my social media, as well as my Patreon to support me directly, and my YouTube shorts and TikTok, which are blowing up, by the way. Thank you very much. All down in the description below, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace.